a lot of Afrobeat acts need to look inward because there's nothing stopping a Burna Boy or a Wizkid or an Ashake or a Davido or a Rema from doing 20 Nigerian cities. Wizkid is a Surulere person. Like, he's from Liri. Wizkid should be able to say, okay, we've done O2 Arena, we've done all of these places. Let's go and do one back home.
Thank you. This is CTDAmongblacks. My name is Oyebanji Akins, and on this particular episode, we have no other person. I'm sure if you're in Nigeria, you know this name very well. If you're in Lagos, you definitely might know this name. And if you haven't got to know this name, if you haven't got to know this wonderful man that I have with us in this particular episode, he's no other name than DJ VENUM. I hope I'm saying the name right. So it's a privilege for you being a fan to definitely would love to listen to this because it's something I'm sure you definitely gain some things. If you're a DJ in Nigeria and if you're a DJ anywhere in the world, maybe in America right here, it's a name well known. He has been able to work with notable names that I know. People like Scales, some other, like he has worked with Maven. He has worked with a lot of big franchises back home in Nigeria. So DJ VENUM, how are you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a privilege to have you. You know, I know you guys are always busy, but out of no time to give us your time, really appreciate it. In a nutshell, would you like to introduce yourself to our fan? Because I might not be able to have done it properly like I am supposed to. So please, if you'd like to reintroduce yourself, what I might have missed, you know, being a DJ and other things you'd like to share with our fans.
Yeah, my name is DJ VENUM. My official name is VENUM. I'm a professional DJ, creative artist. I express myself through music a lot. I listen to a lot of music. I'm also in the music business space, so I've done some work for organizations within the music business space over the past couple of years. Yeah, I've worked with a whole bunch of amazing artists, the likes of Skills. You mentioned that, Super Woozy people. Yeah, so that's basically most of it.
Thank you very much. And so I remember maybe like, let's just say 10 years ago, DJ won't become something where it is today now. How has it been for you and how do you become this, you know, being a DJ is something a lot of people, I'm a DJ, but I'm not a professional DJ. I won't put myself out in that level. But how has it been being a DJ in Nigeria? What has been the experience for you?
I think for me, being a DJ, it has been a very, very humbling experience because there's a lot of growth. For me personally, I've been in the industry as a DJ for plus or minus 9 or 10 years now, almost like pretty much a decade. And over time, I've grown through from trying to get your first gig, trying to actually get paid for DJing, to doing bigger events, to getting bigger gigs, to sharing stages with some of the greatest Nigerian artists. I've shared stages with Skills, I've shared stages with Peruzzi, I've been on the same stage with Davido, I've been at some of those places. And yeah, I think that being able to experience that level of growth as any individual 10 years in the game from where I started to now, I think it is a very, very humbling experience.
Thank you very much for sharing that. I will ask you this direct question. Do you think DJs in Nigeria all around, I will stay in Nigeria because you're Nigeria. Do you think DJs are being given their accolades and how they're supposed to be given to by the fans, not just the artists you work with? Do you think the country, the fans appreciate the work of a DJ in any show or in how things is being on Nigerian music industry?
I think a lot of the time, or previously, there used to be, or like previously, I'm saying a couple of years back, so 10 years, 15, 20 years down the line, there was not much being paid attention to other people outside the musicians themselves. So a lot of people did not know who the producers were, they didn't know who the DJs were, they didn't know who, like all of the people that were creating behind the scenes alongside the artists or part of that value chain, right? But over time, more recently, with development, a lot of people have realized the power of branding and marketing. They've realized the power of community. They've realized how much exposure can be gained by co-brand opportunities, by hosting events, for example. And I think over time, it has gotten better. So more people pay attention to the DJs, more people come to DJ events. There's been a wave of DJ events in Lagos that have motivated me to, like, I have something of, like, I've seen all of those things. And I think over time, it has gotten better.
Thank you very much for that. I will pick my next question on the last thing you said. DJs now all around the world are now hosting their own show. How was that experience has been for you being in Lagos? Being a DJ, you want to host your own show, have the party. You guys are the main thing that makes the party to be nice. On a more serious note, for any artist that might put their songs out, if the DJ are not playing it, there's nothing that will happen to it, which a lot of fans don't know that. How was that experience being handling the show? I remember you did one couple of months ago. How has that experience been for you, for a DJ to want to host a show? If you don't mind, you can share, the nitty-gritty, the part that the world don't know, that even though they just see like you're doing this. How was that challenge and how was that experience be for you personally?
I think for me, hosting an event was getting my people to come out. So like I'm very, very particular about, or I have people that follow me that have been a part of my journey for a lot part of the last 10 years. They've seen me grow. They've come to me, they've seen me play at one place or the other. They've listened to my mixes. They've come across my journey, my story, and all of that. So hosting an event was giving them a chance. Okay, you guys have seen me outside. You've seen me in a whole bunch of different places. This is my thing, right? And if you're coming here, you're going to be sure that you're going to have an absolute, or like, you're going to have a lot of fun enjoying a DJ VENUM set. Another thing about events is that being a creative, it has helped me express myself, because an event experience for me is creativity. You have to design that experience. You have to go through people that will be part of that experience with you. You have to put together a team to handle that experience. All of that for me is an avenue to express my creativity. And I realized that over time, you learn how to make those experiences more enjoyable, right? Another thing that I worked on with my event is that I give my people a platform. So I have a lot of friends that are DJs, that are artists, that are hype men, that are hype women, have female DJs as friends. And I feel that, coming to my place, coming to this space means that you're coming to engage with my people, my friends, people that want to have a good time, and giving other people that platform apart from myself, because I can't play the whole night. I can play the whole night, but I won't want to play the whole night, obviously. Like, have variety, have people come on board and share their energy. So for me, majorly, it is an avenue to express my creativity, because you have to design that experience. You have to make it beautiful. Then giving other people around me a platform to reach out to an audience, to have fun, to enjoy themselves while they're at it.
Thank you very much for that. I want to use one word you've been saying frequently, which is the creativity. Music is a universal language, and fortunately, people like you are becoming the main goal, the main power behind every music we listen to, which I think a lot of people might not understand. In the terms of the creativity, what has been, do you think how our musicians are now going international, has there been any way for DJs to start having gig where they can go out of the country? Is this something you're looking forward to? Is this something you've tried? Is this something you're hoping that big brand can start looking into that aspect for DJs too, in terms of they can be more creativity in their own world?
I think a lot of DJs have gained international exposure, because obviously exporting the Afrobeat sound means that you export a lot of the ecosystem around it. So the artists are exported, the artists go on tours, and they need people to tour with them. So I have a bunch of my friends that go out on tours with other artists that have gone out. Brands also have a lot of things going on for other artists. On a personal level, it's something that I'm working on, something that I would love to do, because there's nothing that would thrill me more than being able to share my sound with all over people all over the world, being able to make them move to the uniqueness of whatever sounds that I'm mixing, that I'm creating. So I have work going on in that aspect. I'm looking forward to being able to come out or get out of this space, get into the rest of the world, and of course, share my sound.
Thank you very much for that explanation. I wanna tap a little bit into the team. You said something about having your team. A lot of people might not understand. They just feel like DJ is just a DJ. You have a lot of fans that have been following you. Some are looking up to you to want to be like DJ VENUM. but they never understand what entails with DJ Venom. And like I remember you said earlier on about saying, you have a team, you've host shows, you've been able to work with some artists. So what I'm saying is, can you share that part to our fans, for anybody that love you, that been following you, to understand? I believe that it's not just being the DJ alone that makes you to be where you are. So that's the part I would like you to share in your journey with our fans. What entails, things you're doing, bringing people together, just to be able to be DJ Venom that you are today.
I think first of all, DJ Venom is a product of a lot of work, hard work. So being able to see things, being able to understand trends, being able to I have taken interest in some of these things, and I've put in time and effort. So like, you have to spend time to develop the skill set. You have to know what the creativity aspect, what it is. And I think for me, creativity relies heavily on a set of skills. So you have to be able to express a creativity. You have to have skills to express. So like, being able to train that skill set to a level where your performances or your performance or delivery or whatever you say you do is flawless. Because if you are a DJ, you have to know how to do some basic things that you don't know how to do. You have to know how to mix great. You have to know how to read your crowd control. You have to have decent music library. You have to be decent at song selection. All of those things are the skill set part. And I think on the people part, there is a limit to how much you can do on your own as an individual. No man is an island, and having people around you helps to influence positively or negatively whatever you do. The right people can mean they have access to things you don't, and you combine resources to be able to achieve a common goal, right? The right people means you have a road manager to go out with you when you're going out, means you have somebody that is able to deliver on content when you're shooting, all of those things. So being able to go through those daily lifestyle, like each and every day, with people around you that have a similar vision. So you have a common vision, you have things you want to work towards, you have things you are working on. All of those things go a long way towards making sure that there is efficiency in the work you do.
Thank you very much for that. My next question is going to be a little bit out of the scope of the DJ. I know you have a bachelor's degree in ecotourism and
wildlife management. Yeah.
So is this something you do on the side, or is just you I believe you're a full-time DJ. You have a bachelor in science and marketing too. Having this various experience, is this something you have it as something you're looking forward in the future? Because I'm a Nigerian. There's a lot of things in that part of Nigeria that we need. Is this something in the future you're still doing something about it, or is something you just, a lot of us go in Nigeria that we have degrees, our parents make us to do this, but your own type of degree you have is more like I might be wrong. I think it's something you pick, because I don't see a lot of people going in that part in Nigeria. So for you, what has been that experience? Is something you just want to dap into in the future, or something you're doing behind that you like to share with us? And you can give us anything about wildlife management in Nigeria that we don't know.
For ecotourism and wildlife management, I was majorly influenced by my dad. I grew up. My dad is a conservationist. He's heavy on biodiversity protection, and he has done some serious work in Nigeria regarding preservation of biodiversity, identifying biodiversity, documenting our biodiversity. So a lot of those things were things that I grew up with. I grew up hiking, grew up going to the fields. I grew up taking visitors. Like, my dad used to have guests come from foreign embassies, because I grew up in the north. I grew up in Jos. And my dad used to have guests coming from the French embassy, from the German embassy, from the US embassy in Abuja to Jos to come and experience ecotourism as it was or as it is in our outdoors. That was before the crisis in the north became a lot of a thing, that security and all those things were affected. But yeah, that was how I grew up. And getting to university, it just seemed like a perfect fit, because I already had a lot of experience. I already had a lot of interest in that field. My dad still goes to the forest to track elephants and chimpanzees every once in a
Wow.
while. And I look forward to having a tour with him sometime soon. Yeah, but that's where the ecotourism thing came from.
Please,
That's
I think it's something you should do, because a lot of us down here would love to. I'm just chipping my idea with you right now. Like, it's something that people down here cherish a lot. You know, having to have the first hand of that kind of documentary, going out with your dad and sharing that information would definitely change how Nigeria is. So please, please, I'm begging you, put it in your list of doing it maybe as soon as possible, because it tells who you are. And that's a lot of things a lot of Nigerians don't know or believe that. You know, I would never have, and I'm being real, I would never have thought, you know, hiking is happening in somewhere in Jos, in Nigeria, because a lot of us are limited to our own southwest, that we don't have the opportunity of crossing the line to the other side to see things from that end. So I'm glad I hear that from you. And my next question is just gonna be around who is DJ VENUM? What do you do on your spare time when you don't on the turntable? When you don't do, you know, have this experience, what do you do on a normal day-to-day act? Are you the kind of person that play games when you don't want to be on the turntable? How is DJ VENUM for your fans that might be watching this? You know, can you share that with us?
I listen to a lot of music. I'm a music head. I make playlists, listen. I look forward to learning. So like I find avenues to learn about stuff. So YouTube, I watch videos, randoms on YouTube. I listen to podcasts, find random people having conversations about matters that don't concern me, and listen because there's always one thing or the other that actually does concern you that you may not know because you are not looking.
Fact.
Yes, like
fact.
On my spare time, that's some of the stuff I do. Aside that, I produce music a little bit, not as much as I wish I did. But I have being a DJ over time means that you listen to other people's music and you now get to a point where you want to make edits. So you want it to sound a type of way, you want to sound different. Then you now start going to where I want to make my own song. So I'm in that space of where I'm trying to make my own music, trying to express myself. So like, yeah, apart from being a DJ, one of the things I do. So yeah, once in a while I do movies. Once in a while, I'm not really a movie person, but like when I want to get lost in, like, just have something to take you out of what I do, watch a little bit of movies.
Thank you very much for that. I'll ask this question that has to do with me and you as a Nigerian. What would you like to say, being in the music world, being a DJ, being a producer, being somebody that understands into the talent hunt? Because I have what I have here. Like you have, I think you're this man that have so much talent that the world has yet to discover. In terms of, they might be looking at you in the DJ perspective, not knowing that there's a lot of other talent that you can handle. What is the thing that you think as a Nigerian that you think we need to upgrade in the music world for us to be well known? And if you feel like, okay, we're there, what are your own views that you want to put out there for people that can learn from you?
I honestly think we need to focus on a little bit more of local development, right? Because Afrobeats acts are selling out capacity stadiums all over the world, multiple cities. And when you come back to Nigeria, when you sell out venues in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, there's very few other places you can mention that have the facilities that people are actively looking for. Now, we have facilities. There is a lot of economic mishap, all of those things. There's the government not being as favorable as it should be. But I feel that a lot of Afrobeat acts need to look inward, because there's nothing stopping a Burna Boy or a Wizkid or an Ashake or a Davido or a Rema from doing 20 Nigerian cities.
I think that was one time we're doing it. I don't think they do. That's very valid. There was a time that people in the likes of the times of Two-Face, where they go from university to universities. I don't even think that exists anymore in Nigeria, which is a very valid point.
Nobody is actively doing that because we have a global market. So it's easy to tell Rema, it's easy to pay off Rema to perform in India, all of those things. But if you want to bring Rema to perform in, look at, for example, I was trying to book an artist for university, right? And by the time you look at the budget of what they can afford and what artists that blew up in 2024 are asking me to pay, like, bro, you blew up yesterday night or last week.
You are touching a very critical conversation now.
How do you expect students to be able to raise this kind of money, right? So I think while we have there's a lot of blame game going on, and that leans heavily towards the reality of the fact that there are systems that either do not work effectively or are not being properly serviced. Properly serviced means they are operating, but they are working at 10%. I was at National Stadium in Surulere, and the most functional part of the whole National Stadium, apart from the fact that people are doing sports, like on the side, people come in, do fitness, do their own thing. The only other functional part about the whole of that stadium is the fact that somebody is selling pepper soup and beer.
Wow.
You get it. So, like, that's the only thing happening actively in that place. When I got there, I was like, we should be able to throw a Whiskey live. Whiskey is a Surulere person. Like, he's from Liri. Whiskey should be able to sail to. We've done O2 Arena. We've done all of these places. Let's go and do one back home in the National Theatre or in TBS. Davido did something like that recently. Kudos to him. He kicked off his Timeless concert at TBS. That was the first, his Timeless World Tour. Oh, I think that was last year. His first
I think it was last year, yeah.
Yes, his first occasion was Tafawa Balewa Square. I want to see a lot more of that. Davido used TBS, but I said something about systems being underutilized. I don't think the population for that event was up to 10K people. But TBS capacity standard is 55,000. Now, we are doing the O2 Arenas, we are doing the Madison Square Gardens, we are doing State Farm Arena in Washington, D.C. We're doing French stadiums, we're doing Wembley, we're doing Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We have some of these facilities in Nigeria that have similar capacities. Now, it may not be actively done, but it's not impossible because you are doing it elsewhere. Somebody else is doing it somewhere else. So honestly, like, regarding the question, I've gone down a long ass rabbit hole, but regarding the question you asked as to local, what we need for Afrobeats or for like Nigerians, I think that a lot of work has to go into servicing our local systems so that our people can benefit, we can generate revenue. If you put Davido in TBS and you increase your selling capacity to 30,000 people will come out in Lagos to see Davido, and you can make those tickets very affordable. But if you're doing 30K tickets, people will go and sit down in the stand. That's the only way they will enjoy the concert is from their phone screen. But they will really pay the money to be in that space. And we have the artists, we have the stars. This is where they were made.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. You said things that are needed to be discussed now in Nigeria that people don't even bring it up. When I asked you the question, I wasn't even expecting you go, like, you really went in details, which means you're passionate about. You're saying you have fact, which is something. I don't think, I'm just adding this to what you said. There's nothing wrong in a Nigerian artist, Ashake, Davido, Burna Boy, Wizkid, where they can even pay half court just to entertain people back home because they started from here. And like you said, going back to university, doing shows where they can still feel like, okay, you're representing on the world and we're still enjoying you, which is a valid point. And I like how you put your words by saying it's not just them too. You know, our government might be able to.
There's a whole structure that needs to be put in place, and people that are in part of those structures need to start looking to activating it. Like, effort has to be made. It's going to be a long time. It's not going to be direct. there's going to be a lot of back and forth, but people need to consciously start making those things happen. Because by the time we cross over to an Afrobeat where our stars are not being minted here again, then it takes away from the local industry, because everybody shifts. There's a pivot. Everybody starts looking out, right? And the connection at the bottom is severed. So people that are coming up don't have aspirations to look forward to here. Everything you're looking forward to is outside
over there. Man, thank you. I think this is the most biggest key point of this particular interview, because the goal is to connect the dots. The goal is to bridge bridge the gap, and for the people can be aware of what is going on. And I'm glad you're able to you've been able to say things I don't think anybody have talked about in the music industry in Nigeria this year. Artists coming back, giving back to the people back home, encouraging our system working better than how it is, and even people people be more intentional. Everything you give us today is intentional, because you've been doing your own assignment. You've been coming up with how you think things should go, which we really, really appreciate you for that. I know you're a busy man. The last question I'm going to be asking you is, what would you like to give to the youth back home in Nigeria? What is that thing you like to share to anybody listening to you? Anybody that loves your talent, that been following you up, what is that thing you like to share with them? Or to anybody down here in America that listen to you, that Nigerians? And that's going to be the last question I'm asking you today, the VENUM.
I think I'm big on the fact that people need to understand, especially young people, that there is a lot of time and space to grow. So young people in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, that want to be in these spaces, not necessarily these spaces, but any space at all, right? Within the industry, within the economic space, in business, we have to be able to accept the time to grow, the space to grow, the give ourselves freedom, reduce the pressures, because there's a lot of pressure on the black man regarding success, regarding growth, and there's the economic factor as there are all of those things that are brought up, marginalization, a lot of those things. Conversations keep coming up consistently globally, so local conversations and on the global scene about how we have faulty systems, how we have a broken society. But I think that as individuals, we should give ourselves time to grow. So young individuals that are looking to work should be willing to put in the effort to grow.
Man, a reference will be made to all these things you said today. This is history for CTDAmongblacks, because you've been able to educate people that might be listening to us, not just to look at our DJs like they're just DJs that know music, that don't know anything outside music. I'm glad you're able to school anybody that might be listening to this to pick the point and to realize that there's a lot that can be done. And for any youth that might be out there, it's been a pleasure having you on our podcast today. It's a pleasure. We share the opportunity of to have to know you, and hopefully when I'm in Nigeria, I would definitely like to see you one-on-one, to get to know you more than this, because you have a lot to share with the world.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, VENUM. It's been a privilege. We would love to hopefully to have you in the future to discuss. I think now you're somebody I can mark to discuss about development when it comes to music in the Nigerian industry, that it can always call you on to share your views, and it's a privilege to have you. Thank you so much, VENUM. Keep doing your thing, keep representing us, keep trying to put all this information in anybody around you to let us know that there's a lot that needs to be done. Thank you so much, VENUM. And this is CTDAmongblacks. Yes, sir. For anybody that might be watching us, continue to connect the dots and let's bridge the gap. And like I always tell people, like DJ VENUM said, what you're doing now might not make sense, but keep doing it, keep showing up. Don't put pressure on yourself, and will definitely make a lot of sense. Thank you. Until next time that we'll have you on our podcast. We love you, and we definitely will continue to rep your music and to rep your brand, and to keep putting it out here in everybody that might be listening to us. And hopefully, who knows, we might have a show that we might bring you to US. Anything can happen. We'll definitely shortlist.
Definitely. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much, and thank you for having it. Thank you to coming on our podcast today. It's a privilege. Thank you so much, sir.